So let's get it in. You got a little lag again, Scott. You got to do something about that. You might have to get in a different position. Uh, it's me, Harold. Apparently knows nothing. My brother, uh, co-host Scott Black Rambo in the building. Um,
Hey,
Sergeant, Master Sergeant retired. Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, trying to get the lingo. That's right.
oh
Strapped
yeah,
up, ready to go. All right. Pause. I don't know how the fuck that sound honestly. Um, how's everything going, bro? I didn't click anyone in. I
things
didn't hit
going
anyone up.
absolutely
I'm
wonderful.
figuring the counterparts, if they want to join, they'll join. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next set of participants, if you will. Think about getting a group together to come in. Somebody.
We always got plenty of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, that's not that. That's not the point. That's a limited. I don't think limited like that. It's not about having something to point. It's about going where you celebrate it, not tolerate it. I'm pretty consistent on what
Amen.
we're doing. I lit this candle here. Pretty consistent on the days that I do it.
Hmm.
And so right now, if you
What's the spin on that candle?
this is salty sandy, so it smells like sea salt. Maybe I don't fucking know. Come on, bro. What are you, a detective here? Uh, this is a hood podcast. We don't know what the fuck's going on here. I got the goddamn candle, sponsored salty sandy. Don't put me on blast, nigga. Like, what kind is that? Who fucking knows? You know what I'm saying? It's the
Oh
kind of people that
no,
It's the
no,
kind of
no,
people that help
no,
pay for the
no, no, no,
podcast.
no. I just wanted.
Okay, I know. I'm just saying, like, follow my
Hey, I'm
lead,
just
brother.
trying. I'm just trying. The ambiance, baby. The
Yeah, I hear you,
ambiance.
but if I had something to volunteer with the information, I would have gave it to you. It's kind of one of those things like, got this candle here from Salty Sandy, didn't really study it, don't know, and don't want to be embarrassed about it, and lose the sponsorship. Okay,
Okay.
that's where we're at. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, listen. I work with you. Uh,
saying? Okay.
Hey.
Come on, what the
I work with you, bro. I work with you.
I am trying, not trying to disparage the candle itself, but maybe it doesn't have a scent on it. Maybe it does. It's a brand. The brand's right here. Everybody's kicking in. Doing their thing. But what I will say is, God damn it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So
Hey,
anyway,
hey. I like the fly thing.
mhm. The engraved version of our cups will be coming in the following week. So everybody's gonna be able to get that, and
Ooh.
link will be in the bio. But it's gonna be even better because it's gonna be engraved, so you don't have to worry about anything like I don't know. This hasn't peeled or anything like that, but it'll be a little bit more bossed up, if you will, than what we got. So it's all about improving your foxhole. One of my own sayings, just came up with that
Right
shit
on.
now. Uh, you got any more good sayings I could steal from you, Scott? Just trying to get it going. You know what I'm saying? Feel free at any time to tell me some shit.
Tighten your shot group.
Yeah, yeah. You see that? Look at that. All that shit.
Tighten your shot group.
Yo, Joe. You know what I'm saying? Mm, okay, a nice cigar. Yeah. Little sip of the Birdo. Good day today. While we're working, definitely uh, got a bottle too of the old sauce. So that was impressive. Love that happened. Definitely needed that. It made my day. Pull this back here a little bit. Can you see everything on the table here, Scott? Can you see the bottles?
I can see I can see from the middle of them up.
I see. I need more. Before you can see more, right?
Yeah. Now I can see the yeah. Now I can see the logos. Yeah.
Just want to make
Hmm.
sure I got this. You know, trying to keep the sponsorship happy here. If you want to sponsor the show, Harold Knows
Go
Nothing,
right on.
please hit us up, and we'll show you how to make that happen. Just taking off with the YouTube. The YouTube is actually live right now, along with the Facebook, I believe. So happy to the YouTube world, right? The YouTube world, as we know. How's everything been going for you today, good brother?
That's what's
Anything
up.
interesting going on?
Oh, everything is. Oh, nothing too out of the ordinary. Today was a good, productive day. You know, got a lot of good. Oh yeah, there you go. You got to turn it more the other way. There you go. Yeah, that's great. Now I can see that. Now I can see everything in you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got, have that my little
Yeah,
comfort zone. Got
yeah, that's
everything
great. Now I
there.
can see. Now I can
Channels
see
lit.
everything in you.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So, what was you saying? Because I was listening intently until got up and left. So were you saying something about peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
No,
What
I
was it?
said
I
we
know it was important. Uh,
no peanut butter jelly time. But I was saying we there was a lot of really good quality work done today. I feel that we got some good. Like I said, a good day of work always makes a man feel satisfied.
I love it. Love it. Uh,
And, e- and even better because it's with my brother.
well, that's dope. Today, everybody always ask, "Hey, what's going to be the subject today?" Well, we're going to start scheduling it now. Got the schedule going on, so we'll be talking about we'll be putting out. It'll send leaders out and everything setting up. So tomorrow, what I'm actually going to be doing is setting up the calendar. It's going to have some of the stuff. Some things will pop up, So if it's something that happened and we just happen to get that news in real time within a day or two, then we'll bring it up so we can be more current with our current events. So I'll be doing my little homework and putting that out there. We finally got enough followers on YouTube, which is only 50, but enough to be able to go on there live now and pick it up. So you're going to see a lot more on the reels from us, as well as shorts and definitely pieces of the pod where you can get the whole pod. We'll start dropping the whole pods. We got a lot of episodes. Some people are still with us. Some people are no longer with us. They're not dead, though. Well, yeah, no one's dead. As far as starting with the pod, this is great. Um, so, but they're no longer with us. Maybe friendships has went its course, or maybe it come back and forth, whatever the case may be. But that's where we're at with that. But it will be scheduled. It will be on YouTube. I'm going to make sure that um, the YouTube is flooded, and you guys can really talk to me in real time via a live link through Riverside. But also, there's a patch to go through YouTube. So while it's streaming live, so hopefully this is what we're initiating now. I had to set it to do so. It does have two on there, so I believe we're all on YouTube. So to the YouTube family that's finally seeing us live, man, what the fuck is up? What is good? We've had some flooded podcasts. We had some bad technology. Scott, are you with me still?
I sure am.
All right. So Scott's now finally how it is. It's not lagging, right?
Right.
Okay. Just his brain is lagging, people. It's not. the actual program. All right, so hey, you know, okay, I'm trying to give him context. Okay, I'm not an asshole today. Earlier, not now. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I'm working on myself. So,
Aren't we all?
we hit a lot of subjects yesterday. One that hit a sore spot yesterday and elicited a good response was Charleston White getting beat up. Uh, like I said, I know what he said, how he goes about himself. He's not above, getting his ass smacked up or whatever. Always having a gun on him, some mace, and all these things. But when you play shit games, you get shit prizes. You may think, all right, well, this is gonna how I'm gonna get money, and this is how I'm gonna change the community and all this stuff. But it seems like the Charleston Wright of old that was for the community before he had this persona that he has on right now, um, may have not got him. I think he's addicted to the fame. And so he was willing to do whatever it took to stay in the spotlight, to make the money off of it, and et cetera, et cetera. I can't say I would do any different because I'm not in his situation, but I will say that there's no fucking way I'm going to go around disrespecting people like it's the thing to freaking do, you know. So, um, you know, prayers up for him, for those who pray. May the universe, you know, get him through this, but hopefully the addiction of the fame won't make him double down on the dumb shit. I know a lot of people that do content creators. Some of them been shot. Some of them are no longer here. Some of them commit suicide because of mental health issues. You got to be careful, you know. So on this podcast, a lot of times, depending on who I'm talking to, what the subject matter is, I get to bare my soul without being a dickhead to everybody, you know. So it's not about me running down on people and saying, "Oh yeah, fuck this person, or fuck that person." Um, if I don't like something, I say I don't like it. But as far as disrespecting the dead and all these other things that people do, yes, you should be able to control your feelings as a man. If somebody says anything to you derogatory, um, but everybody's not in that space, and if you don't respect everybody's space, they're going to make you respect their space. Book a hero. Okay, so if you don't respect everybody's space, eventually someone's going to make you respect their space. So you can't keep running around shooting your mouth off publicly, by the way. Speaking on the dead, people that just lost somebody. I don't care what you thought of the person. You might want to back up off of that.
Yeah, some things might be kind of triggering.
There was a time if somebody even accused me of lying on my daughter's name, that I would have tried to kill him. I'm beyond that now, but I remember that space. So I know, yeah, would I have been overreacting? 1,000%. However, um, at that time, I could justify a murder because I was hurt and hurt people.
For people.
You goddamn right. So, some people found out the hard way, and some people seen the amount of distraught and grief and anger in me and walked away from it. You know what I mean? But there was literally until recently, it took me a lot to bring it down where it needs to be so I can enjoy my life and not keep punishing myself for regrets or feeling cheated, slighted, or even feeling guilty myself from not being enough or doing enough. You know what I mean? For someone who's no longer with me. As far as in the physical and the spiritual and the realm of the universe, they here forever. And I see it because every time my dumbass gets into something, or even my brother, like magically we get the fuck out. We're not that smart, and we're damn sure ain't that lucky. Um,
Mm.
it's always got to be something extra that's pushing you the right way. And it's up to us to see those signs, grab onto them, and don't be a glutton and just eat it, but use it as nourishment. Anything out there, damn near we can consume it and it's good for us in some way until we begin the gluttony.
Be
You know what I mean?
appreciative.
Well, it's not about even being appreciative. All these things that we have, say biblically, gluttony, sloth, right? Envy, jealousy. Yeah, all these things are they have counterparts of what you're really looking for. You know what I mean? So when you're feeling jealousy, you might be really looking for comfort. You feel me? When you're experiencing gluttony, when you're overeating, overindulging, not caring, you might be looking for something to care for you. You know what I mean? These things that you go through are responses. They're not your core issue. They're responses to what you may need. So you got to figure out the things that you why you're doing one thing is because you need something else. You know what I mean? A person quick to anger really strives to be patient. So they're struggling with themselves. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out what's, you know, what are you looking for? So you got to strip away a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I just had our old host. Maybe one day she'll get back on there, Christy. Shout out to you. Um, th- they're looking for a relationship, and they said they keep running into the same thing. I'm not trying to put your business out there, but fuck it, you know I run a podcast. Come on. Um, and I told him, and it's a book of Harold. I'm gonna throw one out there. Um, I told him something as simple as, you know what I mean, you get what you're looking for. So you can say out your mouth you're looking for success, but if you don't do those steps for success, you're just giving lip service. You know what I mean? Because the law of attraction dictates that if you are looking for something, you will constantly see it. But really looking for something. Most people think they're looking, a lot of people, I guess most, a lot of people think they're looking for a relationship, and they might be actually looking for forgiveness, or they might be looking to recreate some trauma that they're suffering from, and so they try to overcompensate. And you know what happens when you put too much on it? It's gonna fall in. It's gonna fall apart. So you're gonna stack, and you're gonna stack, and you're gonna stack, and then it's gonna fall in. And then you created something to see. Well, this is what happens. That's not what happens. You have to follow through on being your own best cheerleader and your own best counselor. So in order to do that, you got to take a truth pill, and that motherfucker sucks. You know what I'm saying? That's the facts.
Hard to swallow.
Yeah, it sucks. You know what I mean? It sucks. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's a step by step, day by day process. Back to Christy. So what I'm saying is, if you really look for what you and what you need is good for you, you will see it everywhere. If you're seeing bullshit everywhere, guess what? You're carrying the bullshit everywhere. So if you wake up and you keep looking for something to be wrong, you keep looking for something to complain about, you keep looking for something, to go wrong, that's what you're gonna fucking constantly get. But if you're saying, hey, how can my day be good tomorrow? What can I do to make my day good tomorrow? Not just wake up and holy ho ho, get hit by a car or some stupid shit because you're like, oh, my day's going great and I just said it. That's not how this works. You have to do the work, people. You have to do the work. And it was my problem at first. I remember this clearly. I kept saying, can't trust a bitch and all this stuff when really I couldn't trust myself. How about that? Really? Could not trust myself. So it wasn't that you couldn't trust a bitch. You can't trust you because you can trust whatever decision you make. When you say you can't trust someone, you're not trusting them because they're going to be whoever they are. You have to trust who you are and who you're inviting to be a part of your journey. And then at some points you got to accept it, and then sometimes you got to separate. It all depends. But you have to be real with if you want better, things that are going to make you better. change of location, change of occupation, and change of your station. These things will make you better. If you're
Keyword
not willing to
change.
change, if you're not gonna change those things, then your pain, your the revolving door of the bullshit is gonna keep going. I had to cut off a lot of friends that to this day I still miss, but was necessary for my growth. They wasn't part of me being held back for pure clarity. So there's not an ex that I fucked with. Whether I thought they was good at the time or bad or whatever, God knows I've had enough bad for all of them. Um, where it's their fault. I was looking for a reason to hate. I was looking for a reason to hurt because I couldn't make reason of what was going on with me. Most of you guys are in the same position. You can't make reason what's going on with you, so it's easy to blame everybody else for your fuckery and your problems. So, in order to get out of that, you have to change. So you got to change your station, your location, and your destination. You got to change, and you have to believe it, and you have to move accordingly to your belief. So don't just say I want to be rich. You got to still do what the wealthy do to become that. Now, some of the stuff they do doesn't fit your moral standings or whatever. Don't get mad at them, but recognize, hey, this is where I need to be happy. I don't feel I need this because sometimes you can't have both. You have to be willing to say if it's a relationship and it's a person, is this person the person that whether we make a billion or nothing, am I going to be happy with this person? And if you're happy with a person, it's not about the bread then, right? But however, if the person's happy with you being less than what your potential is, then you just want comfort. You just want someone to be around. It doesn't matter who it fucking is. You feel me? So you got to understand, or if you care to understand, that most of the stuff is internal. And once you figure out yourself, once you can take care of your own plant, you, and water you to do better things and make better decisions and to move a better way, then you'll be ready and you'll see more inviting good things to come around you. You can't sit in the bed, you can't sit online, you can't do all these things and think that a good person is going to come around to you. You got to be available. You got to be around. If you hang out at a bar all day, you get a bar bitch. You hang out at church all day, you get a church lady. You hang out at the library, you get a reading lady. You see how this works? This is not hard shit. But now, if your ego dictates and ego says, "Well, I know this," remember the ego to me is the shaitan, it's the devil, it's the evil whisperer um, of bad deeds. Your ego. You know what I mean? And pride is the close cousin of that motherfucker. You know what I mean? So you have to balance that by having a good voice. You know how they had the cartoon with the good angel on one end and the bad and the devil on the other end? You know what I mean? You have to think in those terms. So both of those are your voices. So inherently, whatever you do in evil, that's your voice too. All right. But you're good at your voice too, and you have 100% control. So you can say, all right, that's enough of this today. Let me get to that. You know what I mean? Start out your day with positive affirmations. You know what I mean? That you are deserving of happiness. Try waking up a whole week with making that your practice. Looking in the mirror and saying, you know what? A lot of shit is going on, good or bad, but I deserve happiness. I'm a good person. You know what I mean? I'm striving to be better, and I deserve good company. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then look in those places. But give yourself a couple weeks to show what your value is. Are you disposable? You know what I mean? If you're used to having disposable women, guess what what you consider yourself? Disposable. And I am the king of that. So I know, and women will tell you that dealt with me. I said, hey, I never promised you nothing, so I don't expect nothing. But I notice that it takes more strength to be the person that does say, count on me, does say, depend on me, does say, make it work. I'm going to make it work. That's the strong person. The weak person says, hey, disposable. For a person with my looks and my station, not hard to do. However, it leaves you empty without a true companion of the female species, which every living man needs, gay or straight. I don't know any person that doesn't deal with a woman, period. So you cut the crap. Okay. So having that input from a significant other or a female friend is very important. But if you treat them disposable, you're treating yourself as disposable. You're telling yourself that you don't deserve love, you don't deserve trust, and you don't deserve anything past tomorrow. So you gotta be careful. You should wake up in the morning with a positive affirmation and an honest one, which is I did 5 push-ups yesterday. My goal, what I'm striving for, what I will do is 7 today or 10 today or whatever. Give yourself little things that are really good for you and let that be your springboard to a better life. You feel me? Little, you don't need home runs, you need base hits. And your base hits become your habits, and your habits become your home runs. There are always more runs batted in than home runs because everybody just hits the home run. One, they're not going to do it. Number two, even if they could, if I get 3 people on base and I hit a homer, then I got 4 to your 1. So base hits get more home runs. You feel me? That's a book of Harold.
Nice.
Mm. Yesterday, I was talking to mom. Smell that. Oh, this candle. Yesterday, I was talking to mom, and I realized it took me almost 40 years to put the words together and to realize the full journey with her mistakes, with her accomplishments, with her triumphs, with her disappointments, that every move she made, even the things that I thought um, were happening to me, were happening for me, and that
Mm.
she put a play together. I said, let me give you a quick debrief in here. I started off. I was born in Newark, New Jersey. We moved very early to Staten Island. I might have been 5, 6 years old, whatever. But it's some of my earliest memories. So I would say Staten Island. All right. So from there, we down bad, fire, whatever happens, we end up in the Bronx for a very short time. I think it was a shelter type project, a situation. And then from there, we went to Connecticut, rescued by a family that's not blood in relation, but a family that's made. That honestly, she doesn't even talk to right now. And not by her own doing. This, people grow apart. But the bottom line was all those moves put me in a better situation, not to be part of the bad situation. So when I see some of the people that came out of, love where I was born, Newark, it's kind of fucked up. Okay. When we was in Staten Island, if I'd have stayed there, y'all know the Wu Tang. Look at the age, all the same. Some a little older than others, whatever. But same age group, I would have been in that type of shit. But by then, while they were doing that, I was already in Connecticut. I believe when they came out, I was in Job Corps. So enjoyed the music, was very proud they came out of Staten Island. Shout out to UMCs also that came out of Staten Island, but didn't make the influence that Wu Tang did. But, Force MDs, I believe, came out of Staten Island too. But outside of that, it's a rough, fucked up place. You know what I mean? A lot of good memories there and everything else. But as I got older, if I'd have went to middle school and high school there, I'd have been in the bullshit early, early. I've been off the porch a long time. You know what I mean? So getting us to the right situation where there's some type of culture, some type of etiquette, some kind of education. You know what I mean? Though my education was actually pretty good in New York, um, my my diction wasn't, and what I think I could see wasn't. I didn't know I could see the world until I moved to Connecticut. Because as separate as they was, as pompous as these motherfuckers were, um, I was. It still was like, you need to get with the program. You know what I mean? There's shit out here. It's not just books. Like there's shit out here. There's grass. I remember we even had a golf team. I didn't know what the fuck golf was really. I knew baseball, I knew football, I knew basketball, fucking soccer. You know what I mean? But I didn't know what lacrosse was. I didn't know what golf was. Equestrians, because they had the horses in Keeney Park. You remember all this, the stables,
Hmm.
right? So there's a certain amount of culture as for being in that, very, very, very liberal and educated state of Connecticut, the largest concentration of wealth damn near in this country, and it ain't oil; it's insurance
Yep.
because we all got to have it. It's governed by law. It's been given to us. So, smallest one of the smaller states controls a large amount of wealth, and it's known. You know what I mean? From the good schools that are all around there, from Masters, Simsbury, shout out Janine Higgins. Used to love that girl. She had a couple of kids. I think one had a brain operation. Wish it would have worked out. Uh, Kingswood, James Dickens. Um, then you had Hall High, Connor High. You know what I mean? But sure, you had these things, and a lot of them they call it what Project Concern. You
Yeah.
can get into those things, but if your parents ain't trying to do all that shit, not have you around, have to go deal with that. They want where they can get to you. Parents might not show their minds didn't.
Yeah.
I think the same with you. They just denied you out the back. She was like, "I'm not going nowhere."
Oh, my mom, Rose wasn't having that. She was like, if I can't get to you, nah, nah. I was up for it. I was up for it. Matter of fact, it was me, Troy, um, Howard Jameson.
Hmm.
We were all in the second grade. We are all in Miss Boland's class, and it was like the first or second day of school or whatever. And they were like, "Hey, we're picking kids for Project Concern," and I was one of them. Rose was like, nope. If I can't get to you, if something happens, it ain't happening. So, like you said, it doesn't, life doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. So, there was a reason for that. As a matter of fact, honestly, if I'd have been in Project Concern, I might not have met you.
Mm. Whatever meant to be for you is always there for you.
Absolutely.
One would be foolish to think that I'm omnipotent to predict. Yeah, I wouldn't have done this, so I would have done that. You are who you are walking. You know what I mean? You are who you are when you're walking. So, as you're walking through life, whoever you are, was nothing was going to change that. I went all the way to Connecticut, still became a notorious criminal. Now, outside of that, I was able to turn it around. You know what I mean? In the later years, thank God. You know what I mean? A little bit here and there, well, a long bit, but I was able to turn it around because I am whoever I am walking. So my principles were in me before I knew what the fuck they were.
Mhm.
So that wasn't going to change. So the outcome pretty much going to be the same, which means I would have had a criminal stint, whether I was in the army, whether I was in private school, no matter what. I was going to satisfy those things in me that I need to learn from. Because everybody needs
Mhm.
certain things to learn from. You know what I mean? All right. So you go to the army, you get shot at. Some people get shot. On top of that, I ain't do none of that. Still got my ass shot, no matter what. Now, most likely, if I was in the military and I might got a shot, I might not made it back. I'm motherfucker shooting some big things. I got shot with something small in my foot. You know, come on. So
Nope.
you are who you are while walking. Look here. You are who you are while walking. So whatever your principles are going to be what that is, whether you have $1 million or no money, because that's who you are. And if that's your nature, you don't like it, you have to fight to change it. Or
Mhm.
sometimes this might be an experience that you need to go through, that you need to just walk right through. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
gain the knowledge and the courage and the inspiration that you need to build something better than what you started.
Yeah, those significant emotional events.
Hmm. So that being said, I'd like to shout out to all my exes. Uh, you all were great people, and we all had our season. Some was a lot of rain, some was a little snow, and some was a lot of springtime and fucking with all those kids. I got what 11. Um, exactly. Um, but they all had their season. I don't look at any of them as demons or nothing. No matter what we may have went through, I look at it as something I had to learn on the way in my walk, in my journey. You know what I mean? One of the best things about my journey is when you meet those special people along the way. And I'm not just talking females, I'm talking like my brother Scott, the people you meet along the way. Some you'll be able to walk with for quite a bit, then you gotta do your journey, then y'all can walk together again. Some people you may only have that part, like say James, missed that man. You know,
Yeah.
we came up together, but everybody has to walk their walk. So when they're walking their walk, we have to say, hey, good journey. And you catch you later. Catch you later,
Yeah.
maybe later.
Peace
Here
be
on
unto you.
this this side or the other.
Yeah.
But don't let your past hold you prisoner. You know what I mean? It's good to reminisce, but don't let that be your story because you're supposed to be still be building. So if your past becomes all you are, it's not enough. You got to create a new path. You know, a new past. We had parties and everything when we were younger. We got older, did our own thing. Then we went on tour. So that's an even bigger party. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But, we seen behind Oz's curtain for much of it. And we still enjoyed it. We still have stories to tell, but there were new stories because we took new adventures. You know, it's premature to be 50 something and sitting on your rocking chair talking about, oh, I used to do this. You're still young enough to do everything from get on the boat to scuba diving, jumping up, whatever. You're still young enough. As I've been working out in this workout journey and trying to be healthy, being healthy, making better decisions. Um, what I seen was in my research is people 75 doing more pull-ups than me. You know what I mean? In better shape. We have no excuses. You know what I mean? We are masters and gods out here. So it means when we say it, we can make it happen. For the most part. High 80%, 90%. It's high ass fucking percent if you're determined. When people start with less than that and still achieve what their hearts desire because their discipline matches their vernacular. So slide back to Christy again. You are what you say you are. So if you got a list and it's long and it don't make sense to everybody, you got to ask yourself what is worth you having your company. Now, some people are jaded and hard. Okay, some people, it is what it is. But I do challenge you out there to try to make a better version of yourself every day. You know what I mean? If you're getting up late, get up a little earlier. If you're not working out, take a fucking walk. Do something. I mean, your crazy ass walked to the gym the other day. You said you was gonna run it,
Yeah, I
but the
tried
walk
it.
did enough.
Yeah, I honestly, I tried it. As far as the run part, and it just, I wasn't up to it. But I did not stop walking.
There you go. See, that's determination. So, do do you consider yourself failing because you didn't run the whole way?
No, not at all.
Exactly. So that's the power of attraction. Now, here's the hard thing: consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Greatness is determined by what you do when you don't want to and you don't have to. Those are the two things that determine how great you want to be and how great you can be.
Yeah, that discipline.
Discipline. Because there's some days I mean literally I can hear the voices scream in my head, don't get up. Scream in my head, it can wait another 10 minutes. Scream in my head, next day will be good enough. It's gonna keep happening, people. You have to fight back. You have to fight back. You have to put yourself in a position. You have to say to yourself, you know what? Not today. Today, I'm up. Today, I'm going in there. Today, I'm putting in that work. Today, I'm putting in that pain, and I'm going to get back to it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I did like, what, 3 days this week on the workout, and I'm on this week now, Monday. So, Tuesday, go in. Try to get you two, try to get you 3 to 4 days in the gym. You don't have to go every day. 3 to 4 days to make it one worth what you're paying, and number two, to see some real improvement. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There are no days off. So if you're not in the gym, I went outside 2 days, inside 2 days. So I actually did 4 days. So 2 days outside workout, 2 days inside. And I like this part of it. So, if you can get 3 days in the gym, that's cool. But at least two. But I would say three. And then go outside. Get the sunshine, get the walk. There's a trail up the street from us. There's a park around it with the Ninja Warrior stuff. I ain't using all that shit. I can do some of it. Um, Come on. So but challenge yourself every day. Don't look for other people to challenge you. Challenge yourself. And then take inspiration, which is free, from everyone else.
I like
Some
that.
days I go in there and I see a comment. It might be somebody I don't know or somebody I do know, and I'll say thank you. You know what I mean? Hassan Campbell, thank you. No, is it Hassan Campbell? Well, Hassan, definitely thank you because he inspires me. And I inspired him, I guess, to get up and to get back to it. You know what I mean? So there's gonna be people that you're gonna shout out that you're gonna be like, oh my God, man, good looking. I needed that. Mon Sheila sometimes just hit me with something and be like, hey, nephew, you looking good. You going for it. And that makes me go 2 more days. You know what I mean? And then becomes, hey, I can't let him down. I got to show my face. I got to get into this. Whatever your reason it is to be better, take that reason and run with it.
Okay.
Whatever that reason is, you know what I mean? Just run with whatever the reason is to make you better, to make you eat better, to make you work out more, appreciate your life, smell the flowers. You know what I mean? And everything else will come to you because then the things that start coming around you will be more conducive to your mental health, your personal growth, and being where you need to be at. Yeah, sounds good.
I dig it.
So tell me, bro, what are you looking for in a mate?
Oh, wow, that's a hell of a question.
Not really.
I really don't know. I really haven't given it much thought because I'm I'm trying to figure out, myself. What do I need out of myself? You know, and I'm finally starting to get that clarity, like coming out of a brain fog. You know, and trying to and learning. I think I'm actually relearning what's important to me, what makes me happy. Uh, I think I'm more right now at this point in this juncture. I'm more trying to figure out um, how to be happy with myself first.
What is your happiness determined by? Is your happiness determined by your ego, or is your happiness determined by your needs? Because they can it can be a very blurred line.
And that's why I'm right now at this point in time. I'm trying to get that clarity to actually separate, to learn the difference between my needs and my wants. So with that, like I said, I'm right now I'm taking a step back. You know, I, I I'm trying to do something different
Mm.
because of the things that I have been doing. You know, uh, allowing myself to get overly emotionally invested in things. You know, before uh, before I really learn to get to know a person. Uh, it's like I said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity. And I'm trying to get off of that merry-go-round. So
Exactly. I had to get off the merry-go-round. Exactly.
so that's what I'm working on right now. Like do that introspective look, that look inside, and stop
Hmm.
you know, looking at everybody else, to pin my shortcomings on, or or blame on. You know, it's I'm working on me. So it's like one thing that I'm figuring out is, like, if I can't be happy with myself, I can't be happy with somebody else.
Yes. If you're looking at yourself and seeing disappointment, well, for whatever reason, disappointment is going to be projected onto whoever you're with.
hmm So I'm trying to curtail that transference, and just clean up my own act before I involve other people. You know what I'm saying?
When you're talking to somebody, do you feel like you're finding someone, or do you feel like you're settling?
Oh,
Mm, of
that's a good question that I don't have the answer to right now.
course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. It's not a question I'm going to ask anyone. This question could be towards anyone out there. You can take you out the equation. Everyone has the answer. It's when you're ready to receive and accept the answer by
I
which you
can
can grow.
I can accept that. I can agree with that.
You know what I mean? So when when you're choosing a mate, you're choosing who you see yourself as. You know what I mean? Are you the high school kid that wants to still be the high school kid? Are you the army dude that still wants to be the army dude? Or are you the person that's retired military now, trying to figure out, all right, where's my direction?
Yeah, where
Number
do I
one
fit?
thing, I'm a very supportive person, so I need and want a supportive person.
Hmm.
So in order to have a supportive person, I had to learn to be truly supportive. Couldn't be one sided.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You know what they do? They do this. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. You have to learn that whatever you're drawing out of people, if you can't pour that back in, it's gonna be empty.
Mm.
But if you guys are filling each other's cup back up, no one's ever thirsty. Book of Hero.
Like it.
You feel me? So if you're filling each other's cup up, no one's gonna be thirsty. But if they're only filling your cup up, then they're thirsty. If you're only filling their cup up, then you're thirsty. You gotta fill each other's cup up. That's what a good relationship is. Whether it's with your mate, whether it's with your friend, any kind of relationship, you gotta pour into each other's cup in order for no one to be thirsty. So you have to find out what they want in a cup. If they what they want in a cup you can't give or is not good for you to give, like all your blood, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. You get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't be good for you. So you have to have someone that's pouring into you the same way, giving you inspiration, pushing you to be your best, and you do the vice versa. If you're only receiving, the other person is gonna be empty. And if that person is empty, now they will away and die, and you're still left with nothing. So you have to watch your gluttony. You have to watch your overdoing it. I like to call it my footprint. So I like my footprint to be less than what it used to be. My footprint was like grandiose all the time. Oh, boom, boom. And it was like still empty. So I had to find, people and a person, my person, that's gonna pour back into me and not abuse it. Try to pour back into them. You know what I mean? Don't never blame yourself for somebody not willing to accept you pour. If you're pouring into their cup and they throwing that shit over their shoulder because they feel it's not good enough for them, go somewhere else. You know what I mean? If if you're settling for once in a blue moon because you like your variety, which is me, or something like that, you have to ask yourself, is all that variety adding up to one person that can pour into you? And maybe you can have some fun. Maybe you can find another person. Maybe y'all can have what's the fuck name of that shit with the poly? Maybe you can find some poly. Maybe you can get
Mm.
a fucking what they call that shit? It's maybe you get a free day or something. You know what I mean? I don't know,
Are
but
you talking hall pass?
hall pass. There you go. Maybe you get a hall pass. Um, but the bottom line is, and maybe it's just one monogamous thing, whatever it is. But the bottom line is, you have to have somebody match your energy in a respectful way. You know what I mean? And you have to want for them what you want for yourself, and then you have to see if they want for you what they want for themselves. Now, mind you, if what they want for themselves is poison and toxic, then them wanting that for you is not good. I've had plenty of relationships, again, no disrespect to anyone from my past, that wanted for me what they wanted for themselves. Well, they didn't want much for themselves. If you want to be wealthy, stable, and this, that, the third, and the other person is satisfied with 30K a year or whatever the hell it is. There's nothing wrong with them, but that's not what you want. So you're going to live your life with regret. However, here's the caveat. However, a person that you really want to be around, it won't matter if you have a billion or a dollar, because they're going to feed something more to you than money. They're going to feed your soul. They're going to make you comfortable. You know what I mean? They're going to make you uncomfortable, actually, because in order to be successful, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. The difference between a rich person, a wealthy person, and a poor person or a substandard person financially is simply they're not willing to be uncomfortable. When you look at a bum in the street, when you look at the people on the corner, some of them are very fucking comfortable. I've never could imagine myself holding up a sign saying I work for food or something like that. I'll be honest, I've not worked on myself enough. I would have robbed the shit out of somebody. Something would have had to give if I didn't get my shit together and find another way, because I'm not comfortable like that. So not everybody that you see is homeless or going through something is uncomfortable. Some people are very comfortable being fucked up. So if that's what they want for themselves, you don't want that for you. So then what is it? Y'all don't match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, literally, if somebody wanted a handbook, oh, I talk to ladies and this, that, give you a handbook all day, get you abroad, 2.2. Brother seen it. Am I lying?
Nope.
Makes no difference. Of station, it doesn't matter if they're filthy rich, broke, whatever, beautiful, whatever, don't matter. That key, I got a master key on that. You feel me? So I don't have to worry about that. However, I didn't have a master key on me and my situation. I couldn't unlock what I needed to unlock to see what I needed, not just what I wanted for myself to prosper in the right way. So you got to be in a good headspace to even handle having a lot. I've had a lot and my headspace wasn't good, so it's not going to stay. So you got to be in the right headspace. Get in the right headspace. Put yourself around like good people that's going to inspire you. You know what I mean? And it's going to allow you to blossom and grow. This, that, the third. That's going to put you where you want and need to be. But you have to be that person first before you can invite that in your life. And once you become that person, it becomes like the law of attraction. You're going to see it wherever you go. It doesn't mean you're going to see 1,000 of what you're going to start seeing those qualities, and your conversation will shift on what you're doing.
Hmm. Okay.
Today, I heard from ex relationships, flawed relationships, but ex from that. And I know very toxic situations. So, though I wish them the best, I know that not in the same realm. Very good people, very good people. But, however, uh, our season had passed. You know what I mean? And always remember, gentlemen, that a large majority of women, not all, I know I'm going to hear it, um, are loyal to their options. And a lot of men are loyal to their pain. So if you got one person loyal to the option and another person loyal to their pain, not good. So you go somewhere where you're the option, you're the prize. and you handle your fucking pain. If they're good, they'll help you along the way here and there. You know what I mean? But you got to do the work. Can't be lazy. Can't pawn it off on someone else just because they like you, love you, whatever. You have to still do the work in order to be worthy of that type of attention and admiration. So you got to open those doors. You got to be attentive. You got to listen, pay attention. You know what I mean? You if you're used to buying, and that's not just prostitution. That means if you're used to flashing to get someone in your bed, in your company, know that when that's gone, they're no longer in your bed and in your company. Simple. Um, be stoic, chase down your bread. You never have to chase a woman. Number one, you should have something that you're into before them, during them, and if need be after. Whether by the relationship going its distance or whether by them passing, you still have to have those plans because plans are the fuel for life. Book of Harold. Plans are the fuel for life. What you plan and what you work on becomes your fuel for living. So when you don't have plans, you don't have fuel to live. Your plans and your goals and your exercise towards those things are your spiritual nurturement. It's your nourishment. It's your spiritual nourishment. Your plans. And I'm not religious, so I'm not talking religion. I'm saying it's a spiritual thing. When you're trying to achieve something, it hurts, it breaks you, it discourages you, and it encourages you at the same time because you're trying to achieve something. You're working towards something. You know what I mean? From the time you were born, you were trying to do something. You were trying to walk. You were trying to ride that bike. You were trying to make a friend. You were trying to eat. You were trying to play. You were making plans for all those things. How dare you, when you become an adult and you can do all those things, you stop planning. You just say, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I used to be part of an industry with music and hip hop and R&B and stuff, and I had a nice little journey. But what I did learn was the things that I fell in love with about certain music, good or bad, were passing me by and was being replaced with something that says kill yourself and kill things that look like you.
Mm.
That's not how hip hop started. It was just relaying a bad situation and us making poor decisions, but it also, we didn't have it, so we bragged about stuff we didn't have. So we had the tinfoil chains on, and we had all those things because that's what we wanted, real or not real. I mean, half the shit they walking around. This, let me pull this up. I should pull it up. Get off the subject a little bit, but um, there was a dude, uh, Johnny Dang, a jeweler. He was selling people jewelry for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it was only 10,000 worth of jewelry type thing. So they finally arrested him, and you got all these rappers that he had. If you look at his page, from the baby to all these people with these big doofus chains on, and turns out the shit wasn't even real. How about
Mm.
them apples? We finally arrested Johnny Dang, and when they arrested him, they put it out that, hey, you guys have been buying a bunch of garbage, and they finally came, arrested him, knocked him out the box. Let me see. Let me see if I can find him here.
Wow.
I think it's there it is. Johnny Dang, the jeweler. Let's go up here. I want to put one more thing. That's scandal. Push that little thing right there. All right, here it is. Let me put it up here because you know me. I like to do this little
Mhm.
sexy thing where I can pull things up. Shout out to Sherry again for that one. I learned it from her. Boom. There it is. Can you see it, Scott?
I can see it, but I can't read it.
Oh, don't worry. I got you. As of April 26th, Julia Johnny Dang is combating viral, hyper realistic AI generated videos and fraudulent allegations alleging he said he sold fake lab grown diamonds to celebrities. These rumors, which include claims of a store raid by authorities, have been flagged as fake news and a part of the misinformation campaign with Johnny Dang, known as the King of Bling, actively debunked them. So again, I even fell for it because I read it, but it says it's AI fraud claim. Let me go over here. I want to bring
At
this up.
FPL, our teams are working every day, inspecting, upgrading, and strengthening the grid, installing smart sensors that spot
Let me
problems.
get
Johnny wanted
this.
to put some smile in my mind. I don't want no free. He wanted to give me some free shit that was way smaller than it. I don't want no free.
What started as one rapper swapping out his jeweler in Houston, Texas became one of the most talked about call outs the hip hop world had seen in years that led to a raid of one of the most successful Houston jewelers. There's a lot of drama brewing here, so let's get right into it. From a flea market in Houston to the top of the hip hop world. Bro, what if the plug you've been rocking with your whole career, the guy who put the ice in your
At FPL, our teams are working every day, inspecting, upgrading, and strengthening the grid, installing smart sensors that spot problems.
the two linked up officially in a business
So
partnership.
that's
Crash
Powwow the
Worthy and
rapper.
Singer, a jeweler.
So
and a
Johnny
rapper
Dang
with
was in
connections. That partnership was
Texas.
the cheat code. Through Paul Wall, Johnny Dang got direct access to the whole hip hop ecosystem. And once that door cracked open, it never closed again. Because in the culture, nothing moves a jeweler like a real cosign from someone the streets respect.
All right. So as you can see right here, Mr. Dang, let me get this off of there. Johnny Dang here. All right. So as you can see right here, they had a whole rollout of people reporting this as real news, as I would have done unless I did the homework and typed in just now. And apparently, it was AI fraudulent, debunked, as I just showed you guys. But yeah, I also showed you how somebody was reporting as if it was real and have a whole narrative, B roll, and everything else going into it. Okay. That's the danger of AI. That's the danger of having the platforms of YouTube and all the other platforms that don't hold people accountable for false claims and just flat out lying on people. And it only took me a second to debunk it. How long did it take me to go on there and read it off?
Less than 10 seconds.
You see that? You have to be able to do that. I had the whole opinion rolled out ready for Johnny Dang selling some bullshit. But here it is. I find out it's wrong. Same show, same time. It's all right there. People are scared of that type of honesty and clarity. You know what I mean? When it comes to reporting and speaking on stuff. And literally, it took me less than 10 seconds to also show you an example of someone, reporting it and putting it down as it's real and will have no repercussions. No one's gonna go after him and say, he hurt my brand and he did this, that, the third. The things they should do. You know what I mean? When you find out someone's, fucking with your business, and I've been through that. Have we not? People lying on
Absolutely.
you, doing this, that, the third. So but there's generally no recourse. I mean, how I handle it was not how I believe now I should have handled it, but it is what it is, and everybody's still alive. So but the bottom line is, when I was first upset, my brother can tell you, mm,
Mm,
it's different meeting a person rapping with a high voice and all this stuff, and tattoos on their face, and it's different than meeting a person that is really about to put in work, put in pain. You know what I mean? Make people put T-shirts out, say fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, playing with people's names is not a good thing.
no, it's not. Not at all.
But the standards of reporting, the standards of the music industry, the standards of life as we know it are sinking into a place where, as long as I can get a dollar, I know some trifling women out there that will go online and pretend like they are good people. When they're lying, they're messy, they're 1 second from prostitution, but will go out here and act like the victim of everything on the planet. Will post up stuff like, oh, this, that, the third with the kids and all kinds of stuff. When they're
Shed the
demons.
tears and everything.
That's when they're demons. Demons. Also, this episode is brought to you by Mob Sauce. They have hot and they have mild. Great sauce, great brand, consistent pH balanced uh, ingredients on the sauce, as well as with a QR code that will get you to the sauce on its website. So, shout out to Mob Sauce and everybody from that company, which includes me. Um, but just wanted to put that out there. Also, shout out to Salty Sandy's products. They have the thermoses. I believe it's a whole fishing line. They got candles too, so that's cool. Um, Make sure you can see that candle. Does it even say what brand it's on? No, no. Oh, it says Salty Sandy. I don't know. It smells good though. I'll be honest with you. Smells very Caucasian. Um, I don't know how else to describe it. The Caucasian candle, you know, the Caucasian candle. There you go.
Very interesting.
Better.
Very, very interesting,
Yeah.
Mr. Bond.
Yeah, you listen, call it as you see it, right? But no, it's good. It's like
Right?
I don't know how to describe the scent, but it's like if it was a cool, piney white person in the forest,
A
and
cool, piney white person
in the
in the forest.
forest, getting lit on fire.
Oh,
Okay, not the skin, uh, maybe the clothes. I don't know.
no,
Doused in Brute by Fabergé.
Stetson.
Stetson, man. You know what I'm saying? I used to like Stetson. I ain't gonna hold you. That's one of the first things I was rocking. I remember this other dude had Polo, and at the time, Polo actually didn't smell that great to me. And I believe the flavor that they had for that or whatever the scent, to this day, I wouldn't like it. It just had Polo on it, so people, had it on. Because us as black people, we love our brands, don't we?
Oh yeah.
So give us a brand, and oh my God. It wasn't until I went on tour and started really just, of course, I had the True Religion and stuff that I do like, and this and third threat counts, etc. But I noticed when I started personalizing the stuff and making it mine, I felt better about what I was wearing. And then as I got older than that, it became, hey man, everything hangs nice on me, so it doesn't matter. I walk in there, I'm the shit. Fuck it. So then became the man made the clothes. The clothes never make the man.
You made the man.
You did.
Absolutely. Yeah, big.
Shout out to Regina. She's going through menopause. I know. Again, I run a fucking podcast. So definitely going through the ups and downs of that. Just emotional. You know what I mean? I don't go through that. So I don't know how that is. Maybe I have my own form of it as just a guy. I don't know. But
What,
for a woman,
menopause?
yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? All the shit happens at around the same time for us. Start breaking down, start, you know what I mean? Questioning to get up and shit like that. Emotional instability for a little bit. Gotta get your bearings right. It's all like a
Yeah.
cocoon shit coming out of a new shell and being a new version of yourself. You know what I mean? When you hit your 50s, when you're hitting that stride, 55, 56, like you're going to start coming out your shell and it's a new version of you. And your new
Yeah.
version of you has very little to do with the old version of you. And you have to learn to put those things in your boxes and only pull it out when it serves you to protect you or protect someone else. Otherwise, leave that shit where the fuck it's at, you know? But shout out to Regina. You know, she was going through it, so I didn't feel like reminding her. And I know I was starting late and everything else, but shout out to the high school girl. You know, from back in the day. One of the few, good people can be a pain in the ass. Man. A little bit obtuse at times. Man, I'm thinking some sliding on Asperger's there. Um, but generally a good soul person. But some of the old principles are kind of worn out and won't work in today's field. So one of the big problems with a lot of women and some men is that they're dating as if they're still talking from a period where their value held differently.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So a lady that's been, deflowered, but doesn't have a lot of bodies. Um, they they still put more value in their vagina than it's possibly there when it's really in the companionship. So you can get dressed up, you can put on a lip gloss, you can look good, you can do all that stuff. But as soon as they get you back and you be like, oh, why don't they want to talk to me? But because you don't have the substance.
Yeah. As you and I can only speak for myself. You can't speak for everybody, but the things that I held as important, you know, before don't don't really hold that the same value anymore to me. Now it's I'm starting to look more towards the companionship piece. The can I sit and have a good conversation, or a lively conversation where we
What's a
don't
good
have to agree.
conversation?
Good conversation is where we can exchange beliefs and ideas, whether we necessarily agree or not, but we're able to, express those things without feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? I really I enjoy a good, intelligent conversation.
In order to have a good, intelligent conversation, you got to establish one thing. What is your value? An intelligent conversation is rarely based on intelligence. Book of Harold. Um, it's basically based on your value, what your values and your value. If your value is you want to be perceived as intelligent to a person or super smart, mm, you have to ask yourself when you're having the conversations, what are we talking here? You know what I mean? Like what are we really talking here? Because when I'm talking your value. So when you're talking to me, then you have to tell me my value. And
Hmm.
then I'm gonna see if I fit those parameters.
Hmm.
But if I'm the smart person and I'm showing how smart I am all the time, I'm not giving people an opportunity to tell me what my value is. My value to them may not be the value I have for myself, or it may align. But if I'm busy showing how much I know more so than listening to what I need to know, mm, gonna leave you fucked up. So that being said, women find out that I'm smart, find out that I'm intelligent, find out that I'm articulate. But for the most part, I'm a blooming idiot to them at first. Just a fun time. You know what I mean? And I listen, listen, and listen. And the biggest enemy of women today is a man that listens. But the thing they need is a man that listens. The biggest enemy and downfall for a man is a woman that listens. But the thing a man needs is a woman that listens. So, that being said, very few people are listening. Most people are talking, peacocking, trying to show what they have, trying to show what they can do, trying to show their future plans with people that have their own plans. So if you don't find out their plans, you don't know if your plans align. And if you just want company, you're going to lie and say your plans align. And then later you have shit. Nothing. See how that works? Real simple. You know what I mean? So listening is way more important than talking. Get them to talk and then respond to what they're talking about. Then let them ask you about you and then answer in kind. But remember, this is a 70% game. 80 if you're highly honest. 70 is what 60 to 70 is what most people get. And don't none of you broads say nothing different because from the time you put on the eyelashes and them wigs, your ass was lying. You was already down to a smooth 70. You guys are starting at a 50. You know what I mean? Even the so-called natural women. You know what I mean? You guys starting at probably less than that. You know what I mean? One person is admitting they have trauma, so they want to look like the European or whatever's going on, and the other person is saying they're super Afrocentric and don't know shit about Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's a world, weird, weird world. That's enough coaching today, though. We got to get out of here. It's a little bit late. We started late. We apologize for that. We'll do better for Wednesday. Promise you guys. Got an inspection on Thursday, so got to make sure that everything's done beforehand.
Yep.
Not Thursday morning, but has to be done tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Period. Everything wiped down, thing done, so that on Thursday it's just take out two pieces and everything's done. A little too much for you guys, but fuck it. You know, we're making sure we're being our best. We're trying to get a storefront out here, probably hopefully in Cape Coral. That's in Florida for you guys that listen abroad. Not abroad, but outside of the state, Florida. Um, but we're watching, we're looking. But until then, we're trying to heal ourselves. You know what I mean? Strengthen ourselves and strengthen our resolve in humanity and build better versions of ourselves. Right. So from us here at Harold Knows Nothing, we bid you good night or good morning, depending on what you're doing. And we'll catch you on Wednesday. And remember, we're now available on YouTube. It says right there that we broadcast live on both. So I'm going to go check out the YouTube. We're going to break up some stuff here. So if you caught us live, that's good. It's going to repeat, I believe. but we're gonna break down the clips and try to entice you guys to get on the bandwagon. Harold Knows Nothing. You know what I mean? So with that being said, what I'm gonna do is send this out with a nice. What the hell is this not working? Applause on the way out. God bless you guys. Good night. Got anything to say there, Mr. Black Rambo?
Hey.
All right. Catch you guys Wednesday. Link in the bio. Link in the bio. Link in the bio. Yeah, candle tip. Smells like burning clean white people. All right. Catch you guys. Harold Knows Nothing.